Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm Canon EOS photographer, RandallMRueff. Today is Monday, December the 7th, 2015 AD, and this is my top 10 list for the best lenses for your Canon EOS camera in the year 2015. 2015 is almost over, so I thought it's pretty safe to say this late December, 7 days in, it's safe to say more than likely Canon's not going to have any new super lens, or it's all more than likely for the rest of the year. So here are my top 10 lenses. If you own a Canon EOS camera, whether it be film or digital, I shoot digital. Most people shoot digital, but there are people out there still shooting film. So if you have a film camera from Canon or a digital SLR from Canon, these are the top lenses you should get if you can afford them. So let's go. Okay, so for the first one, or number 10, let's put it that way. Number 10 is something that I could not find on Canon's website. They don't sell it, but that is 1200 millimeter. Let's put it this way: the Canon 1200 millimeter. Okay, let's look at this puppy. This is an amazing, amazing lens. B&H has one. The last I heard, it was selling for $120,000. The rumors are that only about 20 of these were made. That is. Due to the price, these were custom built to order lenses back in the day. And in other words, it's not like today where they build, they make hundreds and thousands of lenses and assume that somebody's going to buy them. No, this was a custom built to order lens. Canon put the information out there that they have these lenses and you could order them and buy them. But what you had to do is you had to put money down and then pay for it, basically, before it was even made. So Canon had to have money to make the lens before you could even order it. So, which is something obviously not done today for obvious reasons. But back in the day, the reason they did it is because it's such an expensive lens. It's such a unique lens, and obviously back in the day it took time and some extreme craftsmanship to make this lens. It's a very heavy lens. It has an f-stop of 5.6 L, which means fluorite. Has an ultrasonic motor, which is pretty good. But 1200 millimeters is an amazing, amazing lens. And with a 2-time teleconverter, which is obviously going to alter your f-stop, but as far as how much light you win, but you can get up to 2400 millimeters, which is an insane amount of focal length reach. Obviously, this is not going to be handheld. Not only are you going to have a tripod, but a very serious tripod to use this lens. This is referred to as a 2-person lens that it takes 2 people to operate, which may or may not be true. You could probably get away with 1 person, but it would be a lot easier, to say the least, with 2 people setting up this lens, because it's very heavy. It's obviously not an everyday lens. It's a specialty lens, and it's not cheap, and it's very rare. And they have one at B&H, and I believe last time I heard the asking price was at $120,000. So if you got 120 grand to spend and want a really cool lens to use, or just to say you've got one, I mean, I have to admit, if I had lots of money, which I don't, but if I had lots of money, this would be one lens I would buy just to say I've got one. I mean, I don't say that about very much equipment or stuff, but to be able to say you've got one and put it on display would be awesome. So that is my number 10 for 2015 as far as Canon EOS lenses. So the rest of them, I can go to the Canon website, and we can look at them and talk about them from there. Number 9 is a tie. So let me take you there. And between two lenses, I assume it's wide angle. Nope, I take that back. Oh, did I say wide angle? Okay, here's one of them. Okay, and that is the 24mm f2.8, which is a wide angle. It's a very attractive lens. Very small, compact. One of what they call the pancake lenses. The only real problem with this is they say it's not easy to adjust the focus because there's nothing wrong with the lens. It's just that this little ribbon hair that you turn is so small that a lot of people have trouble, turning it because it's so small. And what did that tie the place with? Well, let me show you here. I'll show you exactly what it tied places with. Let's see, standard zoom. I gotta find it. That's what I think. Go to the next page. Or next. Nope. Come on, where is it? What would be under? Standard. What would be zoom? Would be. Well, there's the wide angle. Man, come on, where is it? I gotta find it here, people. Okay, here it is. And that is the 40mm f2.8. Again, pancake lens. One of what people refer to as pancake lens. Now, obviously, that's not what Ken's designation is, but that's the nickname that a lot of people have put on these really skinny lenses. And that is the 40mm f2.8. Again, both of these 2.8 aperture on both lenses, both the 24 and the 40. And basically, the only real difference is the millimeter length. One's got a 24mm, and this one that you're looking at now has a 40mm. Aside from that, it's got autofocus, manual focus, and it's got a real tiny focus ring when you use a manual focus. So that, let me mark off all this here, is number 9. Number 8, that's pretty simple. Let's go back here. Did I lose it? Here it is. It's right here. 50mm 1.2L USM. 1.2 aperture, L stands for fluoride glass, ultrasonic motor, $13.49. It's a little more expensive, but it's a good quality lens. If you need 50mm range in your lenses, this is probably going to be the one you want because it's going to be you're going to be able to get the blur out your background, and you're going to be able to get sharp focus. And when you do manual focus, the focus ring is bigger than the pancake lenses, so you shouldn't have any trouble turning it to adjust it from manual focus. But again, the downside to this lens is the price, $13.49. But having said that, you get what you pay for. If you want a good lens, you gotta pay for it. And this lens is my number 8 of 2015. So let's go to, mark that one off my list. That's number 8. Number 7. Zooms. Let's see if it's on here. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Number 7 is the 7200 2.8L IS2 U.S.A. The L meaning fluorite, the IS meaning image stabilized, the 2 meaning the second version, and U.S.A. meaning ultrasonic motor. Now, it has right here has a price of $2,000. Okay, and it's a good lens. For a lot of portrait photographers and a lot of wedding photographers and event photographers, this is their go-to lens. Not me personally, but for a lot of people, this is the lens of choice for professionals. You got a decent zoom range. You've got the ability with the 2.8 to blow out the background very good. You got sharp focus. But again, the downside is the price, $2,000 approximately. But having said that, you get what you pay for. Canon makes good stuff. So that is number 7 on my 2015 list of best Canon lenses. Moving on to number 6. Just move back a little bit. Let's see what's on here. I don't see it. Nope. Hold on, I'll find it here. Okay. Here we go. Number 6 on my 2015 list is the 8 to 15 millimeter L fisheye U.S.A. for basically $1,200. And the reason it's number 6 on my list is because it has an f4 aperture, which was 2.8, but that's nonetheless. It goes from an 8 to 15 millimeters. Now, when you're at 8 millimeters, it's very, very wide. To get a decent picture or close up, you're going to have to basically stick the camera with the lens on it directly in somebody's face to get a close picture. Because it's so wide, it is very easy to get the appearance that the person is far away when they're actually pretty doggone close. Plus, the downside is, or maybe it's the upside, depending on how artistic you are. Sometimes if you're standing somewhere, your feet can be in the photograph. Your flash, if you have an external flash, it can appear in the photograph. In fact, with the 8 to 15, with the 8 all the way at its widest, you can even see part of the inside of the lens barrel. So it's very, very wide. But it does make that neat fisheye effect, which is really cool. And that's at 8 millimeters. Of course, you can adjust it all the way to 15, which it's still going to be curved, but it's not going to be really. It's still a fisheye lens, but it's not going to be. It's not going to give you the whole round eye. It's just going to make some straight lines circular. So a neat lens, a neat effect, especially around 8 to 10 millimeters, and even 12 millimeters. I mean, or even 15, all the way to 15. It's going to give you a neat effect. So it's just a matter of how circular you really do. You want a full ball, or do you want it somewhere in between, or do you want more of an almost not fisheye effect? And 8 to 15 gives you that range, and so that's why it's number 6 on my list of 2015 of my best Canon EOS lenses. Okay, again, the price is $1,200, give or take, depending on where you get it. So let's go to my number 5 pick. which is here somewhere. Okay, my number 5 pick for Canon EOS lens of 2015 is right here. The MP-E 65mm f2.8 with a 1 to 5 times macro photo, which is really cool lens, okay? $1,049, so it's definitely over $1,000. But if you're in it for macro work and really blowing things up, this would be the lens to have. I mean, you can just really, I mean, you take small objects and you want to make them look real big. This is the lens for you. It has a 1 to 5 times magnification, which is really impressive considering it's a 65mm lens and how small it is. Again, if you want to macro on those flowers or some insects or some small bugs or just small objects, like if you want to read the fine print on your dollar bills in your wallet or billfold, and you want to really zoom in on that dollar bill or whatever else it is you want to look in real close at, the MP-E 65mm f2.8 1 to 5 times a macro photography lens is definitely the lens you want to consider, and that's why it's number 5 on my list of top lenses for the Canon EOS camera in 2015. And again, with the 2.8, you got plenty of light. Excuse me. Okay, let's go back now to my number 4 pick. And it's right here. Isn't that convenient? My number 4 pick for 2015 best lenses, top 10 list. Number 4 is the 100mm f2.8 macro. It's not going to have the magnification power of the one we just talked about, which is why it's not quite as high on the list. But it does have some other nice features. First of all, let's talk about the price. It's under $1,000, which is really good. It's $800. Aside from being able to do macro work on a tripod, it's also a great portrait lens. A lot of photographers that want to do some macro work also use this as a portrait, and it works really good. Where this would come in handy, let me say this again, where this would come in handy is at weddings, for example, where you can use it as a portrait lens, get that portrait of the bride, the groom, bride and the groom, and then switch over to using your the macro part, and you can zoom in on that ring. So I can understand why photographers want this lens, especially wedding photographers, because a lot of grooms and brides, and especially if they pay for the rings themselves, they want a good picture of the rings, both rings individually, and the rings together, and the rings on the hands, and holding the hands with the rings on them. So you want to get something that can get that macro, get that close up, and look really good. And this is the lens you're going to want for that. So that's why it is number 4 on my 2015 list of best Canon EOS lenses. Number 3. Let's go back. No, that would probably too wide. Standard zoom. Try standard zoom. Standard zoom. It should be right here. Okay, here it is. Number 3, 2015 top 10 list. Best Canon EOS lenses, 24 to 70 right here. Version fluorite. Version 2 U.S.A. Has a 2.8 aperture, so you get plenty of light. Blur out the background. This is good. You got your wide angle, your standard, and a little bit of telephoto. But all through that range, you're going to have a fixed aperture, which is really good. So you have fixed aperture, plenty of light, and so you can this would make a good everyday practical lens for just everyday shooting. Around the house, if I had this lens and I had a camera at the house just for using at the house, this would be the lens I would have, because you can get those wide angles, you can get the standard. Plus, it has a little bit of zoom. So this would make a great lens. Well, I would say your second or third lens. Maybe that's why it's number 3. I don't know. Because it wouldn't be my first choice. It wouldn't be my second choice for lenses. But third choice, absolutely. This would. Again, it's a little more expensive because it's a it's a 2.8. It's $1,800 because of the 2.8 aperture. But if you're gonna take your everyday casual pictures to the extreme, this is the lens you're gonna want. Okay. So that is the number 3 lens on my 2015 list of best Canon EOS lenses. So we got 2 more to go. Let's see, that'll be there's probably under super telephoto. Okay, number 2 lens is for sports and wildlife, or if you just use a zoom lens, that is the EF 200 to 400 millimeter f4 with a fixed focal length, L for fluorite, IS for image stabilized, U.S.A. is ultrasonic motor, and it has a built-in extender of 1.4 times. Now, why they did make this at 2 times, I'm still reeling in. I don't know why, but it does have a built-in I wish it had 1.2 extender. It has a 1.4 times extender, which is really great, which takes it all the way to 560 millimeters. So you can go all the way from 200 to 560 millimeters with the touch extender activated. It's real easy to switch between the extender. I keep wanting to call it teleconverter, but the extender, teleconverter, whatever. It's real easy to switch from one to the other. Because of the size of the lens, you may or may not want to handhold this. You may want to put this on a monopod or a tripod. And you're definitely going to want to use your lens hood to get rid of some extra light straying in, more than likely. But overall, just a really good lens. Again, the downside is the fact it's $11,000. I mean, there's no getting around it. This is an expensive lens. 200 to 400 is a good range. F4, again, fluorite, IS, USM, extender. It's very beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Even the top's gorgeous. Of course, it's got a hood you can put on the end, making it even longer. But if you're doing sports, like in a gymnasium, or just sports in general, or doing wildlife where you don't want to get too close to the animals or startle them, this is definitely going to be the lens you're going to want to have. I would love to have this lens. The downside to it is, though, it is heavy. You are going to need a monopod or tripod to hold it for extended periods. And, of course, again, the price is pretty expensive. But, again, you get with Canon and anything made of good quality, you're going to get what you pay for. So, highly recommend it. It's the number 2 lens on my 2015 list of best Canon EOS lenses for digital or film photography. Of course, that takes us now to number 1. Now, this is my personal choice. Doesn't have to be yours. Oh, so I can find it here first. But this is my number 1 choice of lenses. If I could only have one lens, this would be the lens to have. The EF 28 to 300 millimeter, F 3.5 to 5.6 L, standing for fluorite, IS standing for image stabilized, and USM standing for ultrasonic motor, which is supposed to be really quiet. It's got a good focal length. It's got a wide angle of 28, goes up to 50, which is standard, all the way to 300, which is very much telephoto. It zooms in and out. A lot of people don't like the fact that it's a push-pull lens. Me, I'm not too... Do I wish it was a twist instead of a push-pull? Yeah, sure, why not? But the fact that it's a push-pull doesn't really make a big difference. It doesn't make a difference. I'll admit I'd rather have the twisty where all the gears and stuff turns internally. But having said that, this is a beautiful lens. It's $2,500 approximately, or $2,450. It's just a beautiful lens. And again, if this is the only lens I can put on my camera, that would be the one. I have a Phoenix 28 to 300 millimeter lens, which is way more less money, but it's not near as good. Not near as good. And I just wish I had this lens. It's made out of great materials, great build quality, and a great zoom range. So, until next time, we've got one more thing to talk about, and that's the cameras. But as far as lenses, again, this is my number one lens for 2015. This is the only lens I can have. This is the lens I would stick on my camera and use it. The 2300 I have on my digital XT is a Phoenix. It's not near as good, not near as good build quality. The glass isn't as good. It still does a good job though. But this 2300 from Canon would be my choice. If money was no object, this would be the choice of my number one lens. And it's been, not only is it my number one lens for 2015, it's been my number one choice of lenses that I wish I could afford for several years, to say the least. So there you have it, my number one list or top 10 list of lenses for the Canon EOS film and digital SLR cameras. Until next time, I'm Canon EOS photographer RandallMRueff saying thanks for watching, have a good day, and God bless you. As always, keep taking those pictures.